Hello everyone, and welcome to this very quick video. I realise I might be a little late to the party in regards to the news, but being a massive James Bond fan, I thought, well, I have to at least say my piece on this. It was recently rumoured or announced in some article that in the new Bond film, No Time to Die, potentially James Bond is going to have a daughter. And the 5-year-old girl who we see running on the ice in Norway being chased by Safin is apparently, well, allegedly, Bond and Madeleine's 5-year-old daughter. The girl is named Mathilde, apparently. So this is interesting news. I mean, there is also speculation that she could be a clone, potentially, of Madeleine. There might be some delving into the cloning storylines. I mean, that might be something interesting. The Bond franchise has taken on the topic of cloning before in Diamonds Are Forever. I know it's not quite the same with today's technology, but still, it was talked about then. Hello, Sam Harrison. And yeah, so my thoughts on this news are, I'm up for it. Yeah, I am, honestly. You know, some people have spit out negative backlash about him having a daughter, but honestly, you know, think about it this way. With the amount of women that James Bond has actually slept with in all of these films, are you really surprised that he hasn't had a child yet? Because, you know, as far as I'm concerned, Bond is the sleaziest spy on the block. He slept with more women than he's had hot dinners, so he was bound to have a child at some point. And, I mean, anyway, at the end of Spectre, Bond settles down with Madeleine, so I think it's very likely that this girl could be their daughter, and Bond has tried to become a dad, maybe. I mean, of course, we don't know the full story of No Time to Die yet. We'll have to wait till November. That's hopefully the November release date will stay. So we have to wait until we see the film to really make our judgments on it. But I'm actually okay with it. I think it's something different. And I think for Daniel Craig's era of Bond, I think it could work. I'm not, I mean, you know, it may not work. It may be totally wrong. But I think we've just got to wait and see the movie to judge on this. I think what's going on here is that they have taken heavy inspiration from a couple of superhero movies which have done this, where the main superhero has settled down and had a daughter. In the case of Logan, it was obviously Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and then he had his daughter, who was technically kind of a clone of him. Well, kind of, sort of. You have to watch the film to understand it. And I think that worked for the film, and I think that they're clearly going to take some inspiration from that. So that'll be interesting to see. As well, Avengers Endgame had Tony Stark as Iron Man. He settled down with Pepper Potts and had a daughter as well. So yeah, I mean, there might be some inspiration there. There might be some inspiration. Also, hello, Jack. Nice to see you. One other rumor I have to mention is also the fact of James Bond potentially being killed in the film. I really hope they don't go down that route. I really hope not, because I think Bond is a survivor. I just don't see how killing him off adds to his character or what does it do? You know, what it would just be kind of lame, I think, if Bond dies. At what cost? I mean, clearly, if he does die, I think he would be some kind of sacrificial death, like he would die for his daughter, maybe, or he would die for Madeleine. Or I think it's, you know, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that doesn't happen. But obviously, the film is finished. We know the film is done. It's just waiting to be released. Obviously, it was delayed because of the coronavirus. So Cary Fukunaga had said that he'd filmed 3 separate endings for the movie. So I'm assuming one of these endings is Bond being killed. I just think Bond being killed would divide the Bond fandom down the middle. I think 50% of the fans would actually be okay with it, and they'd be like, okay, well, that's something new, it's something different, because the films will be rebooted anyway after Craig leaves. You know, but I think the other half would be, no, that's wrong, that's sacrilegious, you can't do that, it's totally wrong. I'm kind of more on the negative side. I don't really want it to happen. If it happens, then obviously I can't do anything about it. But I think it would just be a very sour way to end the Craig era. I think now that we've got this news about potentially this girl being his daughter, I would put money on Madeleine probably dying. Madeleine might cop it, and maybe the ending is that Bond does retire and raises his daughter, potentially. Even if this girl isn't biologically his daughter, even if she is some kind of clone, because there is that theory about Madeline having a clone who is this little girl. So I would kind of be okay if Bond were to end the movie and just retire from MI6 and raise his daughter. Let's face it, Daniel Craig is leaving now. The door is open for a new actor. They are going to have to reboot the series anyway, in some capacity. Whether they continue, I mean, they can't really continue in the same timeline. Again, it depends on the ending. But they can keep the MI6 regulars, by all means. That will probably be the only thing that will stay the same. But in terms of Craig's era, this is it. And I think I would love to see him, at the end, live and raise his daughter. I'd love to see him do that, Whereas obviously Logan, the film Logan actually died at the end. Spoilers, sorry, but it's been out a few years now. Logan actually died at the end and had his daughter with him. But I think it would be nice for Bond to raise his daughter, even if, like, Madeline dies, potentially. But there's obviously a lot we don't know about yet, because there's history between Safin and Madeline. Of course, Safin being the main villain of the film, played by Rami Malek. But again, we're just going to have to wait till the film comes out to make proper judgments. But from what I can see in my live chat, I can see that everybody seems to be against the whole Bond killing off, being dead thing. And also, they've called the movie No Time to Die. So, killing Bond off would make the title kind of irrelevant, wouldn't it? No Time to Die, Bond dies, doesn't work for me. It gives me confidence that they won't kill him off, that they've called it No Time to Die. But at the same time, it hasn't guaranteed anything. But I think the general feeling among the Bond fandom, from what I can gather, is that it does seem to be something that people are not keen on, that Bond will die. Apparently, this was a dispute that happened when Danny Boyle was on the project. When Danny Boyle was meant to direct No Time to Die, there was a whole debate about Bond being killed, and I don't know which way it works now, because I was told that it was his idea to kill off Bond, and then they said no, and then I heard it the other way around, so I don't know. And then he left the project. So who knows what Cary Fukunaga has come up with for the ending, but they've filmed 3 endings, so potentially on the Blu-ray release, we'll see deleted scenes with the other 2 endings that didn't get chosen for the film. Well, I hope so anyway. But yeah, that's kind of it, really. I mean, I'm up for it, but I know Britt Ekland, who was in Man with the Golden Gun, she played Goodnight. She's not up for it. She thinks it just ruins his character. I think that's a bit harsh. I think that's a bit harsh, really, to say that. I don't think it ruins his character. It's something different, I'm not saying they should give Bond a daughter going forward and have him be a dad in every single installment. I think for this particular film, it could work because, again, the end of Spectre, Bond settles down with Madeline. And, it's only fair to assume that he may decide he wants to procreate. I mean, after all, he has the tools to do so. He knows how to work the bedroom, so to speak. He's done on many occasions. I'm just seeing a couple of the comments here. Well, Jack, I don't know. I mean, I think it would be stupid if they did kill him off by having that title, No Time to Die. Whether it be ironic or not, I think it would be kind of stupid to do that. That's just my theory, but I think it will be interesting to see. I mean, the movie is obviously not far away. Well, hopefully, if the November release date is staying. But yeah, I mean, I know that the title being No Time to Die, that doesn't necessarily mean he won't die, but I'd like to assume. I'm going to assume that he isn't going to die. I'm going to try and be optimistic and hope, keeping my fingers crossed, that he doesn't die at the end, because that would be a waste. And I think that would leave Craig's era on a down note, and I think a lot of people would turn away from the series, quite frankly. Like I said, there'd be a 50-50 split down the middle. So potentially, No Time to Die could be the most divisive Bond movie yet. And it's really interesting. I mean, so far, there's been obviously a lot of controversy about the other stuff in the film, like the Lashana Lynch thing and all of that. But I won't go into that. This video is not about that. So, yeah, that's kind of my thoughts. I'm okay with the daughter thing. I'm okay with that. If they do that well, then, yeah, I'm happy with that. And as for what some people have said in the live chat about the daughter dying, well, potentially. I mean, who knows? I mean, Bond has lost so many people that you know, it wouldn't surprise me. And now, Sam, you make the point about them. You'd rather them kill Felix. Yeah, I mean, I don't want Felix to die either. But if I had to choose, I'd rather have Felix go than Bond. But yeah, I mean, the film, as far as I can tell from the trailer, the film looks great. So I keep my fingers crossed that we get a great exit for Daniel Craig. He is my favourite Bond, after all. So I want nothing more than a great exit for him. So that's kind of it, really. Yeah, I'm okay with the daughter thing. Not okay with killing off Bond. That's my thoughts, really. And I'm sorry it took me a while to get to this because I had some other videos backlogged. But yeah. Well, Sam, I mean, you'd say you don't want another reboot, but look at it this way. Daniel Craig's timeline is kind of isolated in itself. So if you think about it, a reboot is kind of inevitable. I'm not necessarily saying an entire massive reboot, like starting the Origins again. I think they'll do like a soft reboot. They'll just continue the timeline with a new actor, but they'll have to kind of essentially forget about the Craig films, if you know what I mean. Depending on how No Time to Die ends, they'll have to just forget about Craig's movies and keep the MI6 regulars, and it will just be like the old films where they just, when they change actors, it's just standard adventures. They'll just probably do that. That's what I think we'll do. I think it's not really valid to assume that they won't reboot it. Personally, I just think they are going to reboot it to a degree, not like starting the Origins again. I think that's where some confusion is being held here. They're not going to reboot Bond like they did with Casino Royale. If they reboot it, it will just be, you know, to change the actor of Bond. Again, it depends on the ending of No Time to Die, depending on what happens to Bond as a character at the end of the film. If he ends up raising his daughter at the end, then they'll have to reboot and start with the new actor, but the new actor will already be James Bond and be on his adventures. That's at least what I would like to see. But we don't really know what's going to happen yet. We know that Phoebe Waller-Bridge is going to be writing Bond 26, or at least that's the rumor. So fingers crossed that happens. I mean, if her writing proves to be great for No Time to Die, then yeah, count me in. So yeah, not really much else to say. Thanks, Jack and Sam, for, you know, engaging in the live chat, and anyone who's watching this just now, please comment down below. Let me know what you think of this news. I'd like to know. And are you excited for No Time to Die? I know I am. I've been waiting for this film for 5 years, so I'm more than excited. Oh, hello, Nick. Nice to see you join us very briefly. Yes, the MI6 regulars, I would love them to stay. If they decide to leave, then that's their choice. I really hope they don't, because I've grown to love Ralph Fiennes, Naomie Harris, Ben Whishaw as well. I mean, they are just fabulous. They are great. In Skyfall, they were introduced, obviously. So the only film they've really had to shine is Spectre. So presumably, obviously, they're going to get a lot to do in No Time to Die. So I'm not saying they have to be like Mission Impossible and have all the characters be in every adventure, but at least having them there in the movies like how they were before, at least that would be nice with the new actor. And it would be nice to see them interact with another actor as Bond, as well as Craig. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have a lot else to say. I'll just read Nick's comment. I see your point, Nick, but I don't see them personally doing that. I don't see the daughter becoming a regular character. I mean, potentially. It depends on how No Time to Die ends. If it ends with Bond alive and the daughter alive, then, you know, maybe. Maybe. I just don't know how it would work with, like, the regular missions. I personally can't see them doing it because I think people like the Bond formula too much, and I think having his daughter there would kind of get in the way, in a way. I mean, but I see your point, Nick, but potentially as a spin-off, maybe if the daughter was older, maybe Bond raises her to be an agent or something. I mean, who knows? But I think in the context of these movies now, I think Bond 26, Bond would just be Bond with a new actor. I don't really think, I can't see the daughter being involved in the next film. Again, even if the film is like a soft reboot. Oh, Jack has a question. Do I think Safin is Dr. No? Well, no, I don't think he is. I don't want him to be, because I think it would be better for him to be his own character. Dr. No is a great character, and yeah, you could argue he was disserved in his own film by only having 20 minutes of screen time, but The only Bond villain I like to see recurring is Blofeld, because he's like the head of Spectre, he's the head of the organization. So at some point, it's nice for all the actors to come across Blofeld, even though some of them don't. I don't think, but yeah, I think that Rami Malek is going to be great as Safin, and I hope that he is his own character. And I think there's a lot between him and Madeline that we don't know. But yes, and also hello to Matthew Moore. Nice to see you here as well. So, in terms of Blofeld in this movie, to answer Jack's question before I kind of cut this off, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Blofeld's going to be in it majorly. I mean, he might be. He might be in it more than we know, but we know he's definitely in the prison scene. So I kind of have a feeling that Blofeld is going to be more of a prolonged cameo, perhaps. He might get broken out of prison. He might join the fight towards the end, maybe. But I don't see Christoph Waltz having a major role, but certainly not as much as he did in Spectre. But it would be nice to see them explore his character more, and I look forward to seeing him again. I always wanted him to come back, so yeah, it would be nice to see him again. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Blofeld being recast, I mean, you know, that's been done before, so they might do that again if Christoph Waltz decides to hang up his hat with the role after Craig leaves, then potentially, or yeah, they might just cast someone else with a new actor anyway, just for the sake of a new timeline, perhaps. But we'll see. I mean, I'd be happy either way. I'd be happy for Christoph Waltz to do more, because every actor prior to him, has only ever done one film as Blofeld. So it's nice that Christoph Waltz has broken the curse now. He is now officially in 2 of the official films as Blofeld. So yeah, it would be nice to get a consistent Blofeld for a bit of time, but we'll see what happens after No Time to Die. I mean, at the moment we've got to sort of get the virus out of the way first and make sure that we're going to be safe and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of it. I'm not going to drag this on anymore. I'll just answer one last question from Jack, and then I'll call it there. Some people are worried that James Bond is going to be PC in this film. You worried about that? Well, I mean, when you say PC, what do you mean? Can you elaborate on that? Because do you mean Bond as a character, or do you mean the Bond characters? Because they've decided to change the women in the film. They're giving the women more action-based roles, apart from Madeline, which is fine. Less of a sexist git. Okay, well, I don't know. I mean, I think there are some fundamentals to Bond that are always going to stay, and I think that's one of them. I think he will, because apparently, from what I've heard, he's going to try it on with Nomi, Lashana Lynch's character, but she turns down his advances. I think there's always going to be elements of sexism with Bond. I mean, that's why you can't really change the gender of Bond, in my opinion. I think also Phoebe Waller-Bridge knows this, and she's mentioned this as well. So I think the fundamentals of Bond as a character will stay the same. I just think the world around him is going to change, and always changes. I mean, as Ray Fiennes says in the trailer, the world is arming faster than can respond. Yeah, that's that. But anyway, I'm going to call it there. Thank you all for watching this stream, and thank you guys in the live chat. We've had a great discussion. This video went on longer than I thought it would, but I'm not complaining about that. And please comment down below and let me know what you think about this news, and are you excited, etc., etc. So, until next time, folks, see ya.